Hi, I'm John Wagner, and I'm the program lead for the Center for Circular Chemical Economy. And over the next few minutes, I want to give you a brief overview of our center. We are part of a wider strategic UKRI investment together with Different Base, which was set up to transform selected material streams within the UK economy towards a more circular system. So as well as our chemical center, there are 4 other centers focused on textiles, metals, technology metals, and construction minerals. And those 5 centers are connected through a central hub, which looks for overlap and a common voice across the 5 material streams. Of course, we all know the chemical industry is important. Together with the pharmaceutical sector, it's the largest export sector in the UK. It's got an annual turnover of over 32 billion. And also the chemical demand is expected to double over the next 10 years. However, of course, the chemical industry is also very heavily reliant on fossil resources, and we have to significantly reduce our fossil consumption. It's the second largest CO2 emitter, and a lot of products from the chemical industry end up as solid waste, and the UK has only a limited capacity of landfill remaining. So we need to find better solutions to deal with these wastes. So at the moment, the chemical economy follows the typical linear take, make, use, dispose model, where we take oil and gas from the ground, we convert this into primary petrochemicals. Those can then be further converted into intermediates to be directly used as chemicals or for polymer production. And then finally, they end up as our desired finished product. This product is then used for its intended purpose, and at the end of the use it becomes waste, where it can be collected, sorted, and then finally be disposed via landfill or incineration. So of course, over the last 20 years, we've already made very good progress in mechanical recycling of plastics, so segregating and collecting plastic materials. But even if we get very high rates of collection, mechanical recycling is limited to around 40 to 50% of all plastic materials. And this doesn't include any of the non-plastic chemical materials like polymers in liquid formulation. So even though mechanical recycling is important, we need to find alternative approaches for dealing with the remaining chemical material. So one option that has emerged over the last 5 years or so is chemical recycling, where we'll break down plastics that cannot be mechanically recycled into their individual monomer components, which can then be further used to produce fresh virgin grade materials. Or if we cannot use chemical recycling, we can burn our waste, or we can use the CO2 emissions throughout the chemical industry and either reduce this directly using electrochemical methods, or take the CO2 it's emitted to the environment, and then we harvest the plants that are grown on the CO2 to form biomass, and then you can convert this biomass into fresh chemical material. So hopefully we form a whole fully circular chemical economy. So the vision of our center is then to transform the UK's chemical industry's linear supply chain model into a fossil-independent, climate-positive and environmentally friendly economy. And we've decided to specifically focus on olefins, which are one of the most important feedstocks for the organic industry. So even though the organic chemical industry produces thousands of different compounds, over 70% of these involve olefins or complementary feedstocks like methanol during the production. The center is led by Professor Jin Chuan, who's recently moved to University of Surrey, and then we've got 7 other universities, including Loughborough, Cardiff, Liverpool, Herod-Watt, Sheffield, Newcastle, and Imperial College. And when we started, we had about 20 industrial partners, and this number has now gone to over 100. Our center is divided across 3 different themes. Theme 1 looks at the new enabling technologies required to drive this transition. And There are many different approaches depending on a specific solution, and of course we cannot cover all the technologies ourselves. So we've just taken 3 examples at different technology readiness level, including the conversion of biomass and waste materials through thermochemical routes, the electrochemical reduction of CO2 into syngas or olefins, and finally the selective hydrogenolysis of waste polymers into fresh chemical material. And if you want to find out more about these technologies, please listen to our Theme 1 presentation. Theme 2 looks at a whole system approach. It's about how do we take those technologies we're developing in Theme 1 and how do they fit in with a wider chemical supply chain. And how do we compare to existing technologies or alternative technologies that are also developing. And it's about selecting a right technology for a right application. So we do this through system modeling and process integration. And then we apply life cycle analysis to that to not only look at the carbon footprint, but also at other environmental impacts from our technologies. And a very important element is to not only look at the environmental side, but also the social side. So what implications could this have on the society and the affordability of products, particularly for the world's poorest? And then finally, Theme 3 looks at all the non-technical aspects, starting from policy, society, and finance. So a very important question is, how do we pay for this circular revolution? Generally, new technologies are more expensive and more risky for investors. So it's about understanding how can we reduce those investment risks and make these circular technologies more attractive. It's about working with the public to ensure that any solution we come up with is acceptable, and understanding what do the public actually need from any products, and also educating the public about the importance and the urgency of the transition. And then finally, it's about developing or helping to develop the right policies to support the transition. It's about working with industry, policymakers, and the public to understand what incentives we need or what taxes and drivers we can put through a policy landscape to provide certainty for investors and ensure there's no unintended consequences as well. So again, if you want to find out more about either Theme 2 or 3, please look at the individual theme videos on our website. So thank you very much for listening, and please get in touch with myself or any of the theme leads if you want to find out more.